and Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, told us very specifically that anything that we think paradise is, we are wrong. It is not that. It is something other than that. And that we are told paradise is these really nice things like water and dates and rivers, and because these were things that people could conceptualize at the time as something that was important to them and greatly desirable. If we were told something like this, it would seem so bizarre that I'm sure it would have scared people off greatly. So I guess what I'm saying is this grand cosmic scheme may be a way to have souls that Allah creates go into like a training ground of the physical existence where they are given the opportunity to perfect themselves, re-enter paradise, become once again beings existing in an absolute state rather than a relative state, and continue to participate, having earned that right by being Khalifa of Allah, in some part of Allah's grand cosmic scheme that is in numbers that we could not write down or could not imagine. I hope that's not too much for anybody. And I have checked with a number of scholars about this, right? They say certainly nobody has ever proposed that in Islam, but that it does not seem in any way to be precluded by anything in Islam. Allah makes us as a soul that is unperfected by choice. It looks like we get one opportunity to perfect that soul by choice. Not that we are just constantly cycling through. I mean, the whole idea of Hinduism and Buddhism is to break from the material cycle of material pain until you exist in a state of nothingness, which doesn't sound so very appealing. This sounds extremely appealing to me. I could not imagine a more appealing paradise than to, by the mercy of Allah, to be allowed to have some tiny share in this grand cosmic process, to actually be involved in who knows what it would be called. I mean, because every term we use is sort of based on material existence, but in a way, management of physical creation and helping to be sure that physical creation carries out Allah's will. And I would say, given everything that I know about Islam and about logic and about the physics of the universe, that this is the most likely possibility. By no means am I saying for sure I am right. But when I look at what could be, I think that of the possibilities of what might be, I think this is the one of highest probability. And the magnitude of that, if it is true, right? I mean, and please don't take this rudely, but I have never, as a Muslim, been too involved in the concept of getting to paradise. If paradise was just spending eternity enjoying myself. You know, and I almost can't imagine Allah wanting us to do that. That He would put us through all this only to have the opportunity to spend an eternity enjoying ourselves. It just seems so much more likely that He has a task for us. And He has told us what the task is, to be His Khalifa. Now we know what the task of Khalifa is in the physical world. Since we know what the task is as Khalifa in the physical world, we can hypothesize about what it might be in the non-physical world, although we have to hypothesize without specifics. Because, how do you do anything as a timeless being? You know, to do something means to be involved in time. So I guess that's pretty much what I have to propose to you as the true nature of reality. The different levels that we can look at what is here, and all those different levels actually exist there. The fact that we see that Allah has created light and has taken that light and He has done a certain thing with it for billions of years, and it all looks directed toward ending up with a Khalifa on earth and giving that Khalifa an opportunity. We have to say, why would Allah want to give the Khalifa the opportunity? And I know Allah is merciful, but it just doesn't fit with the scheme of things. The scheme of things seems to be Allah asks us to do good things, to do good deeds, and to progress. I would assume in paradise, whatever doing good deeds and progressing means in a state outside of time, that we would still be doing that.
At different levels.
Pardon?
At different levels, because there are different levels of paradise. Different levels of paradise. So
Yeah, well, I mean, this is further reason to think that we don't just go to paradise, that we go to paradise, and it isn't. It may well not be the case that you just enter whichever of the 7 levels it is because of what you have done. That you enter at whatever level is appropriate for you, and then you continue your good deeds and your progression. But good deeds and progression outside of time, whatever that means. So our relationship with Allah seems to be much more than we had thought that it was. That we are here for something a lot more than to pray and to fast and pay our zakat and this. That we are here very seriously to be the Khalifa of Allah. And to be the Khalifa of Allah, which is part of something we'll go into a future talk, is a lot more than just we say to the kids, make yourself good, help others become good, and make the physical world good. But there is really a lot more to it than that. It has a lot to do with the contemplation of the creation of Allah and the remembrance of Allah, and how that alters consciousness, and how that alteration of consciousness does bring you to the state where you are capable of entering paradise. You know, if you take the story somewhat directly from what we have been told, Allah sent a messenger down to get the physical stuff or the clay, to bring it up to paradise, to create Adam. But the question becomes, when we're talking about these different levels of existence, what it really means, is there really, from Allah's point of view, a separation between paradise and physical existence? See, from our point of view, this is why I say people talk about the Allah and His creation as it is a thing separate from Allah. And from our point of view, it looks separate. It looks like, and this is why we feel uncomfortable. Some people with one of the attributes of Allah, which is to be omnipresent, which means everywhere at the same time. If Allah was omnipresent, and please don't take this rudely, if Allah was omnipresent and everywhere at the same time, that would mean Allah was in this whiteboard marker, which we don't feel comfortable with saying that kind of thing. But this whiteboard marker is only from our point of view of perception. From the point of view of Allah, it is not a whiteboard marker. It is not little bits of energy in subatomic particles. It is not even the underlying quantum field. It is part of the overall fabric of existence, which I, as I said earlier, I